Hello and welcome to the latest episodes of Utilities Club, the Utilities Middle East podcast. Today, the topic we're discussing is the power of digital twins to transform the water infrastructure sector. And we are joined by Slavco Velickov, the Director of Water, Enterprise and Product Sales at Bentley Systems. Hello, welcome.
Thank you, Beatrix, and nice to meet you, and thank you for having me here in Dubai.
It's a pleasure to have you on the podcast and here in Dubai. Just before we begin, can you just take a second and introduce yourself and the company?
Yes, definitely. So my name is Slavco Velickov. I'm responsible globally for the water business and water industry in Bentley. Bentley Systems is an international company, basically providing innovative software solutions to advance the world infrastructure, sustaining both the global economy and the environment in order to improve quality of life of people.
Wonderful. And recently there's been so much discussion of just the power of technology and the huge amount of opportunities it opens in all sectors, but specifically to where we're talking today, water infrastructure.
Yes.
What are some of those opportunities that you see?
Definitely, technology software solutions cover all of the phases like planning, designing, building, and operating the water infrastructure. And when it comes to the water infrastructure, industry, new technologies and new challenges, I would say, it's basically to transform the water industry, opening up several opportunities. First opportunity is the digital twins for smart water networks management. And this is basically the integration between the engineering technology, like models, for example, drawings, files that we have, then the operational technology, which is IoT and sensory technology, SCADA systems, which are already in place, and information technology, recently powered by advances of AI technologies as well, machine learning, to allow real-time monitoring, real-time modeling, for example, of flow rates, pressures, water levels, but also water quality. So these digital twins for smart water network can improve definitely more efficiency gains, like reducing water losses in the water distribution systems, energy efficiency, driving towards carbon neutrality as well, and proactive maintenance of the infrastructure assets. Another opportunity that I see in the water industry is we are turning the dull pipes to more intelligent infrastructure. We call that infrastructure intelligence, which is supported by the digital twins technology in order to support the life cycle of the water infrastructure. Water reuse, we see here in Dubai and also in the Emirates that there is a more drive to reuse the water with a treated sewage effluents for irrigation, for example, and replenishment on the groundwater. And water energy nexus, which is very important because treating desalination plants and highly energy hungry, I would say. Of course, another challenge and another topic I would like to turn it into opportunity is the water quality improvements that are being made in the region here as well. So I've been coming here almost 20 years in the region. I've seen the developments of the complete infrastructure, which is a world-class, and including the water and wastewater and the stormwater infrastructure. Water quality has improved with real-time monitoring, with chlorination, with also better ozonation, filtration in the production facilities, and with the use of technologies like digital twins, for example, and smart water networks. We can proactively take certain, let's say, measures before even they happen, like contamination of the water, and improve the quality of the water and quality, security of the people who are, drinking that water as well. I would like to mention another opportunity, if you allow me. This is important. We need to adapt to the changing climate, obviously. There is a more risk for floods and droughts, including in the region as well. And we need to make our water infrastructure more resilient because this is a critical infrastructure, obviously. So customer engagement is also one opportunity to improve the experience between the providers of the water, the utilities owner-operators, but at the end of the day, they are there to serve the customers. So new digital technology, new apps, new experiences and interactions can also help educating the customers how they can go with saving water, reusing water, and at the end of the day, contributing towards the water security in the region. So in summary, many of these innovations collectively, I would say, they enhance the efficiency, reliability, and sustainability of the water infrastructure, ensuring that the utilities and the ecosystem partner which are working there together with utilities, can meet the growing demands in the region, obviously, which is a water-scarce region, and the challenges of the future.
Thank you. I thought that was a very interesting just overview and all of the huge number of opportunities that are opening up in the region. And as you said, it's clear that the Middle East is very invested in embracing change and technology, yes, which is really good. Okay, so moving to digital twins, which you've mentioned a little bit before, but specifically, what are some of those challenges that digital twins can help companies in the region address?
Yes, you're addressing a very important topic, and that's why, of course, as a technology provider, I'm excited to talk about digital twins and the value and the business outcomes that digital twins can bring to the region and also globally to the water infrastructure. So first of all, let's define what digital twins. There are so many, definitions that are floating around.
Just a word that
just
thrown around.
So I would like to mention that in our Bentley definition, the digital twin is basically a digital representation of the system, of the physical assets that reflects the state of the infrastructure, including a real-time state and potentially also behavior of the infrastructure with forecasting as well. So we call it an iTwin, which is an innovation term, which is an infrastructure digital twin powered and implemented by Bentley iTwin technology and iTwin platform. So when you hear me talking about iTwin, so remember that this is the digital twin for infrastructure. So the digital twins, holistically looking, they offer transformative power, I would say, for managing water infrastructure, addressing the key challenges that we are facing nowadays. So first of all is infrastructure management and optimization. That is through real-time monitoring and decision support. So getting the right information at the right time in order to make informed decision. Maybe they're not better decisions, but at least with the latest information at hand, operators can make, and of course planners can make an informed decision. Second aspect I would like to address is with digital twins, we can also facilitate the reduction of non-revenue water and water losses with pressure management and more accurate leak detection in the system as well. So instead of building a new facilities for treating water, if we can reduce slightly for example, the usage of the water, then it adds up a huge saving in terms of, the water scarcity in the region as well. Just to give an example, so UAE, last year I was looking, so it's around 83 billions of gallons which were spent for drinking water only. So imagine if we have at least 1% saving. We can have a huge impact on non-constructing or improving desalination plants or water treatment facilities in the region as well. So another opportunity that the digital twin provides is improved operational efficiency through scenario analysis, physical alternatives, and also planning. So for example, the true digital twin can simulate if-else scenarios, growing demand, climate impact, population move, population growth, new area development, new airport development, for example, in Dubai, how that impacts the water supply into the system, and of course the wastewater collection and the stormwater infrastructure. So that can be used for strategic planning and also decision making. Additionally, we can drive with the digital twin the energy optimization, which is really key. Utilities on average here in the region, in the GCC countries, spend between 30 and 40% from operational cost on energy, obviously, because it's an energy hungry business, I would say. We are pumping water, we are treating water, etc. And by saving at least 20 to 30% on energy efficiency, this is a huge impact in terms of business outcomes that can be realized. I mentioned water quality. Water quality is becoming also very important, and I'm glad to see the water quality is really, really improved in the last decade here in the region. Another opportunity that the digital twin represents is emergency response. If something bad happens, we can plan for that. And for example, if there is a closure of the valve, if there is a pipe break, if there is an electricity failure that some pumps are not operating, and sometimes things happen, of course, but we need to be prepared, and you have a risk mitigation plan in place. And with the digital twin, we can analyze those worst case scenario or possible plausible scenarios and come up with an action plan, which is how to mitigate those risks in those scenarios as well. And I would like to mention a few more things, one or two more things just to round off this question. Regulatory compliance and reporting. Of course, the UAE government is putting some pressure on the water utilities and engineering consultants and contractors to deliver the value for the assets and the return on the assets. And the water companies, of course, needs to have reporting tools. They need to have a performance benchmarking, for example, with KPIs. And digital twins can automate and help that process, providing visibility, insights, reporting, and comparison on a fingertips as well. Finally, something to mention about why water is important in terms of sustainability and, of course, environmental impact. So the digital twins can manage resources availability, as we discussed, so groundwater, desalination, rain, for example, water, etc. They can improve system performance as well. And finally, we can also, with the digital twin, provide a better environmental monitoring, where the water is in our wadis, in our catchment areas, in our estuarine oceans, and how the complete water cycle is contributing towards the water security in the region. So by addressing these challenges, digital twins not only enhance the efficiency of the water companies, but they also contribute to the overall sustainability and resilience of the water infrastructure in the region.
Wonderful. It's really amazing to hear about all these opportunities, all the value that just having data can add to a company, and just the potential that opens up. But obviously you work with a lot of companies that are implementing the solutions and creating those digital twins. What are some of the challenges they face in embracing this process?
Of course, implementing digital twins for the water infrastructure can be highly beneficial. I just explained with the business outcomes and use cases, and I will also, maybe also try to quantify these business outcomes in the podcast later on as well. But some of the challenges that the water companies are facing, and we see as a technology provider in the region together with our system implementators and partners on the ground, is first of all is the data silos which are existing. In every company we have various data silos, so planning department, operational department, financial department, GS, etc. So all of this data currently is not connected and integrated in a connected data environment. So by implementing a robust data governance, but also standards and maybe open platform, that data governance can be overcome very easy. There is a lot of data. We need just to, smartly utilize the data and put it in that digital twin platform. Then talking about scalability. Sometimes the water companies are afraid to embrace, because this is a new technology, and we are sometimes afraid from new technologies as well. So my advice is we always start with a small proof of value or a small proof of concept in order to demonstrate immediate impact. Let's say if we can reduce water losses by extra 10%, this is immediately a return on investment for implementing the digital twin. Once we demonstrate that, we get the buy-in from the stakeholders in the company and the upper management, obviously. And then scalability happens automatically with the use of cloud technologies and the design and the nature of our iTwin platform as well. Another challenge is interoperability. Many of the water companies, engineering consultants and the supply chain, obviously, are using different vendors, different softwares, which is okay, which is fine. But that interoperability between models, softwares, systems, it's very important. And that's why it's important while implementing digital twin to choose for an open platform which supports some open standards as well. Interoperable frameworks that can integrate with the existing infrastructure, not to replace anything, but just integrate in both directions. And this is really important. That's why I mentioned the Bentley iTwin platform, which exactly does that. Finally, what we see is the budgets, obviously. So we need always to plan for a budgets and costs in order to implement digital twins. And the water companies need to put, their strategic plans in place, their financial plans for the coming years. So it's good always to plan ahead for implementing this type of technologies in order to benefit. Change management is important as well. People are sometimes resistant to change, and it's a tough job. But by early engagement of all of the stakeholders in the water company, basically aligning the ship to flow in the same direction, we can overcome this challenge. I would like to mention last thing is the cybersecurity, which is a hot topic, obviously, especially for critical infrastructure and regulatory compliance thereafter. But the digital twins that, for example, Bentley Systems is developing are secure by design and by nature. And we are working with partners like Microsoft, for example, which has cybersecurity team, which is everything secured in the cloud, but also, on the desktop as well. So cybersecurity is sometimes a challenge, but we can overcome these challenges by talking to the water utilities and demonstrating the value, how we can become even more secure by implementing this digital twin. So by addressing all of these challenges with planning, strategic planning, with some budgets allocation, investments in the technology, and fostering the culture of collaboration and innovation, I think we can overcome these challenges for the future.
Thank you. And yes, of course, there's challenges like people, as you said, data silos, cybersecurity, but like you were saying, just with planning and having them front of mind, you can address them, and the outcome is clearly worth it, as Bentley Systems has shown. So what are some of those examples or case studies in which the Bentley Systems technology has been able to create an impact?
We, as a global company, we operate in all regions, I would say, to advance with the water infrastructure. Bentley Open Flows products and solutions used and trusted by more than 10,000 users, I would say, globally. Wow. This is utilities owner, operator, engineering consultants, contractors, technology providers, integrators, etc. And when it comes to digital modeling solutions and digital twin technology, I would like to mention a few users, if you allow me.
Of course.
Globally, but also from the region. First of all, I will start with my home country, the Netherlands, basically. The Netherlands is a sort of forefront, a runner in water, basically management, because we live under the sea level and we need to have all of our water infrastructure in order. So I will start with Evides. Evides Water Company is based in Rotterdam, very close where I live. They are serving around 2.5 million population for the wider area conglomerate of Rotterdam. So the key challenge or key use case there was to rethink how we can cope with the water supply challenges while reducing the carbon footprint, which is a very hot topic in terms of race to net zero, decarbonization, and how every one of us and the water companies can lead that decarbonization and net to zero race. So they've put in place an ambition plan. I mentioned that planning is really important, backed up by budget, obviously. And they implemented open flows applications. They developed a digital twin, enabling real-time insights to water operation in order to automate the pumping. In Netherlands, we don't have a lot of reservoirs. Here is similar situation. The water is always directly fed throughout the system, so we need constantly to pump it. By optimizing the pumping scheduling and anticipating the demand, for example, based on weather, based on festivities, based on patterns, the days of the week, seasonality, etc. So they were able to optimize the pumping scheduling and reduce energy cost by 30%, which is significant saving. And only for one key pumping station, which is in Kralingen, it's a small area there in Rotterdam. So they reported in their use case that they reduced the annual CO2 emissions from the pumping station by already almost 942 tons of carbon, only during that pilot phase. So imagine the scale up, and currently Evides is scaling up the digital twin and implementing it for the complete Rotterdam network. So let's go back a little bit here, close to home, to your home, to GCC countries, I would say. So when it comes to the region, I would like to mention a couple of examples. So one of the examples is implementation of smart water management system for various business units in the national water company in Saudi. As you are aware, there are a lot of construction, huge construction projects in Saudi, building like Neom, Red Sea, the Line, and a lot of demand for efficient water management as well. So Kingdom of Saudi implemented open flow solution to help them across the complete life cycle. So planning, designing, constructing, and operating the infrastructure. Another example I want to mention is ADDC in Abu Dhabi. I just came from Abu Dhabi yesterday.
Nice.
So we had a very interesting innovation day, how we can see the upcoming 5 to 10 years in a urban or smart or city-wise context, the role of water and the water players and stakeholders in the region. So we get very nice, frank discussions, some technologies, innovations, demonstrations, also feedback from the users, and it was very nice. So ADDC in the past, they implemented sectorization of the network. They are managing a vast network, obviously, with a DMA, district metered area, in order to get a better control of the water balances and reduce water losses. And they used there some of our open flows water solutions, and also to reduce the transient effects with their communication with Transco, which is the transmission mains supplying the water in Abu Dhabi. Here in Dubai, DEWA, Dubai Electricity and Water Authority, they're also using open flows water jams in particular, in order to do the strategic master planning for the region and the years to come. And that is the first building block also for creating the digital twin, which is the simulation engine, which is very important for having a true digital twin as we define it. And finally, Sharjah Electricity and Water Authority, they're also using some of the Bentley technologies, open flows technologies, in order to also reduce the low pressure point, improve the quality of permits when you want to build a new house or a new development. Of course, you need to connect to the water. And digital twin can help you. If I need to connect certain customers to the water, what will be the demand and whether I have enough capacity to plan for that development. So overall, I would say, I mentioned a couple of case studies, and GCC countries are also a little bit leading the way, I would say, when I compare internationally in the digital twin technology arena.
Yes, it's very exciting to hear you speak about all these ambitious projects that the region has for the future and how they're making sure that they're preparing for the time and the rise in demand that is going to happen, and also the sustainability impact as well. So all of these Bentley solutions are having a great impact in the region, and they will continue to have it.
Yes.
But in some of these examples and some of your case studies, what are just some of the numbers? What's the impact that the value they've created?
Yeah, that's the question that everybody is asking, of course.
Just give me the number.
Yes, just give me the number, and what is the business outcome and the benefit of using this type of technologies. Of course, many infrastructure owner-operators, I can say, engineering consultants and contractors in the ecosystem around the globe, are using this type of technologies from Bentley and from other vendors in order to advance the infrastructure. In Bentley, we have a particular event, we call it Year in Infrastructure, where we annually invite all of these players in the water industry to submit their use cases and to present basically on a conference their innovations, to inspire the other colleagues and the other peers, and also to discuss the business outcomes and impacts they create on the society. First of all, because they are there to serve the society and improve quality of life, like our company as well, by advancing the infrastructure. So in terms of case studies that I extracted and are publicly available, obviously, on our website. So some quantified business outcomes and business value, I would say. First of all, reduction of non-revenue water, I mentioned it a couple of times. With implementing this type of technology, we can further reduce by at least 10 to 15%. So that's a huge savings.
That's massive.
As I mentioned, if you put numbers in terms of how much is the cubic meter per water, energy costs, chlorination costs, deferral costs of not building additional desalination plants, this is a huge impact. Second is improve energy efficiency by at least 30%. I mentioned the case study in Rotterdam, but also now we are in a discussion with ADDC, with DEWA, with SIVA as well, to implement this energy optimization using the Bentley technologies. Reduce service interruptions by 35%. So I mentioned, climate impact and things can go sometimes wrong. In order to anticipate for that with the digital twin and reduce the service interruption, it's a huge impact and a huge value. By reducing by 35%, that's customer satisfaction, first of all, and secondly, we safely deliver water to our customers. And reduce operational costs. At the end of the day, it's all about this digital twin technology, because it's a real-time technology. Is the situation now with some AI-powered forecasting and prediction, we can save on operations between 10 and 20%. And this is mega savings that can be there. And finally, with the simulation when I mentioned when you do a master planning, you can do if-else scenarios and optimize a little bit the way forward. So the capital investment planning can be improved by at least 10%. And these are mega projects, so if you can, improve 10% on that, that's the bottom line is really. So for the selected case studies and best practices, I would say, I recommend to visit our website. All of this is public information in the use cases, and the Year of Infrastructure booklet, yearly booklet, is in digital format, so users who are interested and potential users, they can see what are the use cases and the business benefits from having this type of digital solutions.
Thank you. And it definitely sounds like the solutions have such great impact for everybody involved. It'll reduce interruptions, as you said, for customers. It'll help companies reduce their operating cost and help countries plan for the future. So everyone wins in a way, which is wonderful. And this is everything you've done so far. You've already had such a massive impact. And just going forward and looking at the next 3 to 5 years, where do you see the sector going?
It's an interesting question. Just yesterday we discussed that during the workshop, and we had a little bit of round table. So I extracted some also input, of course, from the workshop, because all of the key players were here in the region as well. So first of all, the future, I would say the following. The future of the water infrastructure in the DCC sector, the Gulf Cooperation Council countries, is bright, I would say. That's definitely, and it is set for significant advances in the next 3 to 5 years. And this is driven by the adoption of the digital twin solutions and technologies innovations. I can mention few. So how do I see the future development in the region based on my experience, my 30 plus years of experience, maybe 20 plus years of experience here in the region, and working with the various stakeholders here in the region. First of all is the widespread implementation of the smart water networks. Dubai, for example, DIVA, is installed around 900,000 smart water meters. We call it AMI infrastructure, automated meter reading infrastructure, which is basically generating enormous amount of data. So with some smart intelligence and smart algorithms on top of it, powered by the digital twin, nowadays we see the advances which are made with artificial intelligence. We can get better insights on how to anticipate and operate the networks even much more efficiency. Second is enhanced water resources. So with these advances, we can better plan how to utilize and reuse our water in the region, which will add to security for the long-term water supply. We are very arid and scarce water region here, as you can imagine. So by reuse of water and smart planning how to tap the limited precious resources, obviously. So that's a big saving as well. I mentioned the future improvement on water quality treatment technologies. We didn't touch that. So, for example, there are various advances in nanotechnology, reverse osmosis membranes, which are very, very efficient and much better in terms of providing better quality. With the digital twin simulations, we can also simulate chlorinations and chlorine residuals, age of water mixing. So this is coming, and I think we will have even better water quality coming from the taps, basically, for the citizens. I would mention also there is a large emphasis yesterday in the workshop on green. They put it in a nice way, colorful cities. So colorful cities means we need more green, which is great. So more green in order to, first of all, reduce the temperature, then accumulate more water. There are so many benefits on that. And yesterday, instead of smart cities, we coined the term water-wise cities as well. So I see that as a further development in the region, which will definitely be accelerated. I mentioned the customer engagement. Customers are important. At the end of the day, that's why utility exists, and at the end of the day, we pay the bills, and so customer engagement and customer satisfaction will improve because of the technology again. So youngsters are coming, new generation with digital apps, with artificial intelligence, with HoloLens, etc. We can have a very nice educational also sessions with customers, how to reuse water, how to properly treat the precious resource we have as well, and why the utilities are important basically in the citywide infrastructure. And finally, I would say that always it comes with a little bit of support from the government and the governmental regulations as well. The government in the GCC countries should continue, and they will, of course, continue to develop enforcing regulations to promote, first of all, the adoptions of these digital technologies and innovations in order to, drive forward the water infrastructure and the water resources in the region in general. So overall, if I conclude, the GCC countries are set to become the leaders, I would say. I'm not exaggerating. I would say really, coming in the region, that they're set to become leaders in leveraging digital water solutions, technologies, innovations as well, to address their unique challenges here, because the challenges in the Netherlands are different, in the UK, in Brazil, in India, etc. They're all different challenges. So adopting those digital twin technologies for the use cases and the business outcome in the region is key. And I'm confident we will achieve that.
Great. And as you said, the future of the region is bright, and I think we're all really excited to see and live in those water-wise cities of the future. Thank you for joining the podcast, Slavko. It's been great to have you.
Thank you very much, Beatrice, for inviting me, and nice to see you. So hopefully we can meet in future again. Thank you very much.
Hopefully we can see you in Dubai soon again. And thank you for listening to the latest episode of Utilities Club.